ahead, Jeff.
Let me ask you a couple questions. First, what is the administration or the White House doing today on the 5G controversy, if
Sure.
anything, in the remaining hours before the midnight deadline?
So there are ongoing discussions right now with members of our economic team who are closely engaged with at the FAA, FCC, wireless carriers, airlines, and aviation equipment manufacturers to reach a solution. As you noted, tomorrow is the deadline. Our objective is, of course, to reach a solution around 5G deployment that maintains the highest level of safety while minimizing disruptions to passenger travel. That's what we're working towards. But everyone from Secretary Pete Buttigieg to members of our economic team are closely engaged in these discussions.
And heading into the president's press conference tomorrow on the eve of his one-year...
On 5G, the FAA has had 2 years to come up with a plan for this, to deal with this implementation. Should they have acted sooner to minimize disruption? Did the FAA drop the ball here?
You know, I think, Mary, there'll be lots of time to look back and see how we got here, and I know many of you will do that, and of course that is understandable. But right now, over the next 24 or less than 24 hours, what we're focused on is trying to come to a solution that will minimize travel disruptions to passenger travel, cargo operations, and our economic recovery. And that is why it's so important to hopefully come to an agreement and ensure more planes are flying out there. Oh, go ahead.
On voting rights, unless something is dramatic.
You know, the airlines are using some pretty dire language to describe what's going to happen tomorrow if the president doesn't step in and take action. They're saying that the nation's commerce will grind to a halt, that the vast majority of the traveling and shipping public will essentially be grounded. Does the president share the view that the airlines have about how bad this is going to be if the White House doesn't step in?
Well, I think what we're trying to do now is come to a solution to avoid exactly that. And it is true that if there are hundreds or thousands of flights that are grounded, that means not just disruptions to passenger travel, that also means cargo operations. That means that goods aren't moving around as quickly and effectively as they need to in order to not have supply chain disruptions. So this is something that we are very focused on, we've been closely engaged on, and we want to avoid that and prevent it.
Can you explain why the FAA and the FCC seem to have different views here? The FAA seems to share some of the concerns that the airlines have about the possible implications of implementing 5G, whereas the FCC has said, based on the data it's seen, it's not a problem.
Well, I think part of this is having a negotiation and trying to find a solution. I'm not going to speak for the FCC, which is, of course, independent. Our objective is to prevent this from becoming the economic disruption that you referenced in your question. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah,